Everybody's already talking like Carson Beck is a lamb heading to slaughter by the hands of Mike Elko and this Texas A&M defense. Yes, the Aggies have the fourth best passing defense in the SEC. Yes, they have one of the best pass rushers in college football in Cashius Howell. Yes, Carson Beck has found a way to throw interceptions at the most inopportune times in Miami's 2 losses. But I've been calling ACC games on ESPN all season long. I don't think it's that simple. Beck and the Canes are averaging 326 passing yards per game in their last 3 contests, and I think they found something. And it starts with the young gun, Malachi Toney, the true freshman receiver for Miami. And let's look at his top 3 plays, or I guess the top play in each of his last 3 games. Here, it's against Virginia Tech. They're going to line him up outside. He's going to motion in. They're trying to get leverage here. And then he ultimately is working on a vertical concept. He's going to get the ball on this play. It's a switch release with this receiver who's also working vertically. And then it's a curl route by this receiver on the bottom of the screen. 2 defenders that stick out here are one, this linebacker who's going to drop underneath Toney, and I believe he's the one that falls down, which low-key may have been a pick versus a better linebacker, but it's also a tight window, so I respect Carson Beck making the throw. Regardless, that is Miami making a play here. And then also this safety who's lined up close to the line of scrimmage. They're trying to confuse Carson Beck. Nah, he's not confused because this safety is going to drop back on the snap of the ball. This safety is going to leak under, and they're ultimately going to hit Toney right here in the slot. I like the design. Toney, I'm interested to see as his career plays out. Does he move more towards the outside? But right now, he's a true slot receiver, as we're going to see. You know, he gets the rock in all sorts of different ways. This is the play too where that woman almost literally hits her head. Look at right on the railing. This woman almost dies. That is so scary, and how, I don't know. All right, we'll focus on ball. But James Franklin put a padding on that little railing right here. Okay, against Pitt, Pat Narduzzi defense. Every time you're playing Pat Narduzzi, you know you're going to get press man on the outside. You're going to get low safeties, and you're going to get oftentimes a cover 4 look here. Pitt gets confused where you got a linebacker here in zone, but then his buddies, the safety in the corner, are more man body language. Toney starts up lining up in the backfield, hence why he does a lot of different things for this Miami offense. He's going to motion towards the outside, and then from here it's just a vertical shot. His buddies next to him have a dig route and an under route, so it's taking the flow of the defense away from Toney, and then this defender gets caught in, again, zone defense, but he gets caught in this whole mix with the dig route behind him, and there's no one defending Toney. It's it almost turns into not 4 verts, but it's really a go ball on the outside, except it's happening from Toney being in the backfield. Low key, if I'm playing Pat Narduzzi, that's a great concept. I would throw that every single time. And then here, this is just, hey, I'm better than you. I'm just more athletic than you, and I'm going to run away from you. It's against NC State here. You got a linebacker tucked in tight. You have no one pressing or getting hands on Toney, and you got a safety deep. All right, let's just go a little 5-yard out. I'm going to catch it, and I'm just going to beat you to the pylon with my speed. This is nothing fancy. This is just Miami being more athletic and more talented than you. But if they leave Toney with some space, he catches the rock, gets up in a hurry, that's dangerous. But we can't ignore the fact that A&M is excellent at shutting down the opposing team's #1 pass catcher. So Malachi Toney, the best true freshman receiver in the country, one of the best true freshmen, period, will likely be limited in this game. The Aggies held Notre Dame's 2 best receivers to 94 total yards in that game. Texas A&M held Ryan Wingo at Texas to only 34 yards. Miami needs to find somebody else to step up. In those aforementioned Notre Dame and Texas games, Eli Raridan and Jack Endry, the respective tight ends for each of those teams, ended up being the top receivers against Texas A&M. So I think it's going to be Elija Lofton and Alex Bauman stepping up for the Canes. Toney only had 40 yards receiving versus Florida early on in the year, and the guy that stepped up was Lofton. And when you look at that film versus the Gators, the way in which Lofton impacted this game was unique from what other tight ends do. Usually tight ends, it's sit routes at the sticks or, flood routes kind of thing. This is almost just like swing passes and flat routes behind line of scrimmage. Just get the ball in Lofton's hands quickly because he's so athletic. Here he's at this tight end spot. He's going to motion over, and they're just going to leak the ball out to him in the flat. Over the top, they got a circus route, so everyone gets soft. Defense is worried about all the other playmakers Miami has. Well, then Lofton goes kind of forgotten about. They leak it to him in the flat, and then you're going to see here, this dude can hurdle some folks. Not a lot of tight ends getting up in the air. Not the case for Lofton. Whoop! Got the back view. Anytime you're getting a hurdle, you get a back view in the brown breakdown into the flat. Everyone forgetting about him. Whoop! money. And then the second play here, again, these are my two favorite designs. Miami is going to line up in a bunch formation. We love bunch because sometimes corners in the back end can get soft because they want to see how things play out in front of them. You got a corner soft, you got a safety soft. Absolutely nobody is setting this edge out here. There's a lot of space, and that's exactly what Miami does and knows, and that's why they're scheming up this play, because they're going to have one receiver block, two receiver block, Lofton into the flat right away, get him the rock on the edge, use his speed and athleticism. And if Texas A&M lines up in these bunch formations, super soft, or worry about what Tony's going to do, right away, you're going to have easy money. What, 13-yard completion? Hey, real quick, if you're enjoying this video, do me a solid and hit the like button down below and subscribe to the channel to not miss out on any videos. Helps me and the channel out a ton. Thanks. Lofton's got to step up on the road in College Station. And that actually might be Miami's biggest problem. The fact that this game is in College Station, Texas. Miami's got the 7th best pass defense in the country at home. On the road, they're 121st. They give up an extra 94 yards through the air on the road. Texas A&M is a top 20 team in the country in plays of 20 yards or more, basically explosive plays. A huge part of that is Texas A&M has PFF's 2 highest graded receivers in the SEC. Mario Craver and a dude that I have loved covering, KC Concepcion. Both those dudes had 800 yards receiving this season. The third option is Ashton Bethel-Roman, who has 446 yards and 5 touchdowns on the season. All 3 of these dudes average above 15 yards per reception. Miami's secondary is incredibly deep, but they have not seen a 3-headed monster like this. We're starting with KC Concepcion. I covered him in the ACC during his time at NC State. And the second that he went to A&M, I was like, ooh, the Aggies got themselves a good one. He's going to be on the top of the screen here, motion over. He had statistically not the best game against Notre Dame, had a couple big catches. He left literally 200 yards on the field. In fact, I did a breakdown on that video. It's somewhere. Go check it out. Texas A&M, Max Brown, type it in. Anyways, he's going to motion over. Deep out here, vertical, and this is an incredible catch on the sideline. Twisting and turning his body. This is before we kind of knew, hey, had Marcel Reed taken a step in year 2. In KC Concepcion, he looks like a slot receiver, and I think that's his future in the NFL. But he's a complete receiver. They'll put him on the outside lane and he'll have some deep shots as well. No better example than right here. What jumps out, this is Notre Dame. They are double covering. You got a corner soft. You got a safety soft. Everything about this from the quarterback lens says the ball should not be thrown to KC Concepcion. KC Concepcion's like, yeah, right, Max, get out of here. I'm going to go a little out and up, top of the screen. Yo, Marcel, throw it up to your boy. Goes up and gets the thing. This is a bad decision as a quarterback. It is. It is a bad decision. Double covered. Throwing it up, trusting your guy, comes down with it. Huge gain on the road versus the Fighting Irish. And then again, similar deal here. They're trying, this is South Carolina. This is the comeback they had. They're trying to double KC. You got man-to-man on the top of the screen. Again, it's just going to be a go route with an inside release. I don't mind this decision. Safety doesn't get there quick enough. But again, it's double coverage. KC Concepcion just running past the corner and then excellent job tracking the football against the safety in the middle of the field. Marcel Reed, keep your eyes down that left hash. Chuck it up. Excellent throw. The concentration, and he gets hit at the same time. That's big time. With Mario Craver, I think their skill sets are interchangeable. But when you look at the film of Craver's biggest receptions and biggest plays this year, it comes on screen plays. And here are 3 that I thought were interesting because if I'm A&M coming into this game, I want to dial up 2 to 3 screen passes for Mario Craver. If he can break one, it might break the game wide open. Here, they're going to line up in a little bunch formation. You got vertical route, and they're going to act Craver's here. Like he's going on the vertical route and he's going to have a little tunnel screen underneath. Offensive line acts like they block and then they're releasing down to block not the defensive lineman, but the linebackers underneath. Anytime Craver's in that slot, bunch formation, tight to the line of scrimmage, got to be ready for screen passes. Bring pressure, and that dude is out the gate. Craver's got longer strides. I don't know who's faster. KC's more like the speedy guy. Craver to me is more of the, I don't want to say smooth because then that means that, KC is maybe not as smooth. But Craver, he's got those fluid strides. Here, they are bringing a receiver in motion, top of the screen. They're going to isolate Craver on the top of the screen. And then he is going to act like he's working up. And then it's a screen pass on the top of the screen by the numbers, lineman out in front. Tight end out in front as well, getting the block. This one's versus LSU in the swamp, quickly out there. A&M's got an excellent offensive line, and you can see those long strides. They can giddy up and go in a hurry. Then this one's versus Missouri. Again, another big play here. You got receiver blocking. This honestly reminds me of the Lofton play for Miami that we broke down earlier. This time he got Craver in the slot, little swing towards the sideline, get the ball in his hands quickly. And if a secondary is going to be soft and scared, well then look out, because Craver can get out quickly. And I can't make this breakdown without at least acknowledging the line of scrimmage, because there's dudes out there that break down trenches play better than me. But regardless of who has the football, the line of scrimmage play in this game is going to be cinema. Miami's offensive tackle, Francis Mauigoa, won the Jacobs blocking trophy awarded to each conference's best blocker. He'll be lining up against Cashius Howell of A&M for at least a few snaps in this game. Howell's got 12 sacks this year. That's third best in the country. He might be the best pass blocking offensive tackle in college football right now. And yeah, he's going up against ACC Defensive Player of the Year, edge rusher for Miami, Ruben Bain Jr. And to give you a sneak peek of Ruben Bain and to show you why he will be a top 5 pick in the NFL draft this upcoming spring, it's because he's the complete package. Right here, it's a little speed rush. It's going to turn the corner, bend the edge, versus Florida, get home on DJ Lagway, give him a little sack lunch. Look at the bend here around the corner. Bop. Gets low, easy money, sack. One more time. This one's against Pitt. He's going to be on the left-hand side. Power, right to the dude's chest. This is Ryan Baer, right tackle for Oklahoma. Boom. Speed, power, and then come back with some more speed. Out here, edge rusher. Look out, CJ Bailey. I'm coming for you. Hand in the dirt. And that's against Jacarius Peak, left tackle for NC State. He is going to be a top 3 round pick. And yeah, Ruben Bain making him look like far from that.